cherry tomatoes, and plum tomatoes. Sun-dried tomatoes, here we come. This is how you know you were tired. When you leave the eggs from yesterday on the trampoline. Those are just eggs on a trampoline. They'll be fine. There are worse things to happen. But I sure did harvest eggs from the chickens and then left them on the trampoline. So because I am a silly nonsense person who put corn directly in the ground but didn't prep the land enough, and it's being outcompeted by a bunch of yellow dock and other weeds, mostly yellow dock, I am going to do something very risky. I am certain that none of this corn in the ground is going to make us corn in the ground where it is, because it's just not getting the nutrients, it's not getting what it needs. And so if I have any chance of salvaging this, I'm going to pull it up and transplant it. And so I got another pallet collar, and I'm going to dig this up, and I'm going to transplant all of this corn into a new raised bed in this pallet collar. I'm also going to pull up my garlic because I needed to move that anyway. So I'm going to make a weird corn and garlic bed, which I know that there's going to come a point where I'm going to think, oh, the corn's doing great. And you're like, no, that's a head of garlic. That wasn't terrible. It is almost 90 degrees right now. So I really should have done this earlier in the morning, but I needed to recover from all the stuff I did yesterday. But yeah, I am gonna do this now, and this will be a mess. And then I'm probably gonna put down a little bit of cardboard or newspaper on the base just as a weed suppressant to help with this new bed, not just having the exact same problem, right? Because it doesn't help if I build a raised bed and then all of the yellow dock comes up from underneath. It's got a nice taproot. It's awesome. It's a wild edible. People use it for medicine, and the young leaves are really tasty. They're very similar to wood sorrel, citrusy and great, and can be used as a spinach replacement, high in oxalic acid. So if you have calcium issues, use it sparingly. But it is very, very delicious, and it just looks like this. This is yellow dock. They have these cool bladed leaves, and they've got like a little arrow at the end. I don't know if you can tell or see that, but yeah, they're good. And the young leaves are super tasty. Oh my god, I always forget how good they are. But yeah, very citrusy, bright flavor, really nice. And like wood sorrel, you could just crush them up, throw them in a smoothie, throw them in some water, make kind of like a field lemonade. It is very, very good, but they are really high in oxalic acid, like chard and spinach. And so if you're eating a lot of those vegetables in your diet, you have to be careful, because if you have too high levels of that, it can lock up calcium absorption. So there are ways to negate that: cooking them, bleaching them, that all helps. But yeah, they're super tasty. And if you threw some, just a couple of those into a pineapple smoothie, awesome. They're super tasty. It's one of my favorite things to do with them. How you know I'm hacking something together: using an old chicken water to soak my plants as I uproot them. This will hopefully stand up better as there are more in there, but this is yeah, making it work. That is actually a lot more corn than I thought we had, which is kind of awesome. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of promising. It did not look like much when it was there, but that actually might plan out most of the bed. So that's pretty cool. Whew. Well, that's the most use what you have. I found some just cardboard boxes from a toy that we got for my stepson, and a fan that we bought for the office, and then some just leftover packing material. So that is going to work. That is just how you introduce more weeds to your garden. So, but that is going to work as a base. I'm going to go to the recycling center right now and get more soil and then fill this up. Might put some kitchen scraps in the bottom just to have a little bit more live active and try to encourage worms to come up and around through the cardboard and propagate this. So yeah, that's my plan. Someday. Well, the soil is here, so now I just got to unload it and put it in the box, and then I can get to plant it. So that's just some kitchen scraps, some eggs, carrot tops, a couple of carrots that were bad, tomato peels, some peas that we forgot about, and bits of pepper seeds. It's possible we might get some volunteer peppers and tomatoes in this, which I'm not mad about, and also part of a cucumber that the kids just left around randomly. But yeah, this would hopefully encourage some worms to come up here, and then I'm going to fill the rest of the bed with compost, or the finished compost with the planting soil. Well, at least it's a little cooler than yesterday. It's only 45 Celsius in the greenhouse, or 110. I don't know that I believe that it's that hot in there, but it might be. Everything looks really happy though. Yay! Well, that is 150 liters or 3 bags of soil. I have more, but I wanted to build a second bed today, and if I want to build that bed, I either have to go back to the recycling center and get 4 more bags of soil, or use a bunch of compost and filler. I think since the goal is to give this corn the best shot, I should give this 1 more bag of soil. So I will probably be going back to the recycling center before they close at 3. It is almost noon, and it is the hottest point of the day, and there are cabbage moss everywhere, driving me crazy, but there's nothing I can do about that, really. I sprayed with BT last night, and hopefully it will make a difference. I don't know that it will, but hopefully. 4 bags, 200 liters of soil, and now I'm going to plant out this corn. I'm going to use square foot gardening, so I think this is a 3-foot wide bed, right? So there should be 4 in each of these modules. I think I'm going to do 6 and then 7, 8, right? So we'll do 8 all the way down, and then I'm going to put garlic on the outside. So my corn will be in the middle and then garlic on the outside. That makes the most sense to me. Yeah, and then I'm just going to do that till I run out of corn. And I still haven't pulled that garlic up, but that is a future Lauren problem. It's okay. Yeah, that is a very big seed of some kind. Oh, hazelnut maybe. Yeah, that's fun. So yeah, that's just in the compost. This is the stuff from the recycling center. It works really well for me. It's local, it's cheap, and it helps support our recycling center. So I'm into that. Yeah, and yeah. We've already got a ladybug checking out the new bed, so that's a good sign. I am now really glad that I didn't pull up this garlic, because I had way more corn than I realized. Yeah, that's like a whole pallet. I don't know that we'll get any actual corn, but I know that we definitely weren't going to get any where it was. So we'll see. This one's already tasseling, so that's not good. There are no ears formed on that, so I actually probably should not have transplanted that one, but it's okay. We will see. Yeah. The worst that can happen is that this bed doesn't produce. The best that can happen is we might get corn in October. That's it. 7 rows of corn, 5 in each row. That is gonna be 35 corn plants and then 9 garlics along the back. I just ripped them out of the ground. 2 of the garlics that I pulled out had split into multiple bulbs, so I made them into their own. So I planted 9, but 1 was from 2 and 1 was from 3. So I can't math right now. It's too hot. 9 minus 2 minus 1, 6. So 6 plants gave me 9 garlics. So hopefully we will get 9 garlics. And I was not gentle with them. I just ripped them out of the ground. I did not fork them or anything. So they will need to regrow their roots. I'll probably cut the tops down just so that they refocus that energy. And it helps. It's not a bad idea when you're transplanting alliums to just cut the greens off so that they refocus on the roots, and then they'll grow new greens when the roots are happy. I just need to think of something to do with those garlic tops tonight, and then once I know what I'm going to do with them, then I will harvest them. So I know my style probably annoys a bunch of people because my style is to research and plot and plan and then try a thing and then completely abandon the plan and all my research because reality and the plan do not align. It happens with everything. It happens with my day job. It happens with the garden. Realities never measure up to the plan. Once the plan gets put into the field and gets tested, weird stuff you never could have imagined will pop up, like errant bamboo, right? Like weird stuff is going to happen. So that is what I'm doing all the time. It's just adapting, right? And I think the only way that we really fail is if we don't try something else. So if you just stick to the plan, regardless of how messed up it is, that is the mistake. And so my plan was to put garlic and corn in a bed. I didn't have enough room for the garlic. I didn't have enough corn to do only corn. So we put 1 row of garlic with 5 rows of corn. Like, okay, we adapted the plan. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Like, it still may work. It may fail, but at least we tried something and we didn't just give up. And we're making the most of what we have. So with that spirit and emboldened by finishing a task and taking a shower and feeling human again, I'm going to try and fix the squash box. The squash box is 2 half pallet collars, which are just way too small, and there's 4 squash plants, and then I expected them to die, so I planted another squash for late season harvest. So there's 5 squash plants in there now, which is completely ridiculous. And so I'm going to take those half pallets off of this raised bed and replace it with a full pallet collar. This may be a spectacular mistake, or it may be awesome and solve a bunch of problems. I also had some volunteer strawberry spinach, and I have parsley in the shadow of this box, which are either going to get buried, will come back up as weeds, or maybe I will be able to transplant that parsley out and put it in the box, and we'll have parsley on purpose instead of just random parsley growing in the shadow of the box. Parsley does like the shade though. It helps it from bolting. So, you know, it may be exactly what it needs to survive. So we will see. But yeah, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to fill that up with soil, and I'm going to plant out potentially some of my seedlings, or maybe I'll just take that garlic that's in the back, right? The rest of the garlic that I was supposed to put in the other box, and I'll find a home for it there. I don't know. And that's okay. It's good not to know. It's good to roll with it sometimes. Too much of your life is structured, and your hobby should not be one of those things. So yeah, I'm gonna go get more dirt because I didn't get enough. Whoops. That counts as lunch, right? Like, that's a reasonable snack to have for lunch. 3 raspberries and 3 blueberries from the garden. It just needs to get me through to finishing this box. So I'm going to take both of these half pallet collars off, and those rings that are just kind of propping up the squash. I'm trying to get them to be a little bit more vertical, just so that we could maybe put a cabbage in the middle there, which I will probably plant out after we do this. So yeah, take both these off and then replace it, and then lay some cardboard down in the back. I'm going to try to record this for you so you can see it, but I don't know that it will actually work because I trust nothing about my phone. That's undeniably cool. Okay. Okay, that's undeniably cool. That you can just see the entire root system around the box. Oh, and then just ants. There's just a bunch of life in the soil, and that is awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. I totally screwed up and forgot that I had tried to prop up those two plants by tying them to the side of the box. So when I went to take the box off, it didn't work because it was tied. The plants were tied to the box. Yeah, it's okay. And if you didn't know why that half pallet didn't really work, this is why. Look how much smaller that is. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be good, I think. Which is awesome. I just need to make this less ridiculous and more squared up. So, yeah. Well, I just found a bag of potatoes on the soil, trying to grow potatoes. Those are going to need a new home. This is what happens when you do not pay attention and things get away from you. It's okay. It's just food. To make fun of me, I am going to use old ice cream cardboard boxes to use as my weed barrier in here because we use what we have and it's fine. It'll work. 2 bags of soil, 100 liters later. That is a full, that's just full. So yeah, that definitely was a half pallet. It's a little low here, but that's okay. I'll put plants in there, and whenever I do the transplants, it'll beef it up a little. And I have some extra that I could top dress this with. So yeah, garlic and corn, squash, and then there's some parsley here that when I pulled it out, it had a root with it, so I just replanted it. So there are 3 little parsley plants in there. So hopefully those will keep growing and give me more parsley. Added another 25 liters of soil to the back just so that it was just as full and compact as the rest of the bed. And then I transplanted all the garlic that I could find back there that looked okay. This one lost its greens, but that's okay. I was gonna cut them off anyway. Yeah, I'm probably gonna plug a cabbage in there, and then I don't know, maybe more cabbages there, and then I will cover them with some kind of insect netting because we have too many insects. But yeah, I'm just gonna water this in and then go make some actual lunch because 6 berries is not real food. Round 3, working in the garden. It's 6:30 at night and it is like 85 degrees. But I need to finish some stuff. So I'm gonna try to finish some stuff. So I'm gonna transplant these out. I'm not gonna do all of these. These are the red Russian kale sprouts that I did in a strawberry container. Totally works, but the ones that are starting to set true leaves, those I'm going to pull out and I'm going to grow as full-size kale in the winter garden. Yeah, so helps if you have dirt. I have everything but my potting mix. So yeah, I'm going to go get that for starts. Started these all inside because I've been having a lot of white cabbage moth problems. And my plan now is to transplant these out to here, and then I'm going to use that half pallet to create an outdoor little greenhouse, but I'm going to cover it with this insect fabric to keep the cabbage moths off of them. So my hope is that we will get winter vegetables because I have done a lot of precautionary steps. We are not, like, my germination rate was not great, but yeah, we'll see. They're just getting leggy, and so they need to be replanted, and I'm going to bury all the way up to these leaves so they'll have a very long stem, and that's totally fine to do with brassicas. They transplant really well. They're very good about pricking out. So yeah, I fit 18 per tray, and I'm just going to do as many as possible, and yeah, we'll see. But yeah, these need better growing conditions than these. They have expended their seedling trays and their starts. They need to be potted up before they can be planted out. Recap. Took the half pallet frame off of this, turned it into a full pallet, planted garlic, well, transplanted garlic, which is very sad now, propped up the squash, planted a cabbage there and some parsley that when I was pulling stuff up had roots. This is bare for right now. That will probably change soon. This is the corn and the 9 garlic. Some are definitely happier than others. These are all my brassica seedlings that I had started in the house. So I just have this insect fabric over top, and then we have all of our friends here in these 2 boxes. And so I just reused those half pallets that were a little too small to grow to use as outdoor seed starting beds. These all have a plastic tray underneath them, and so I'm bottom watering in these. So I'll pull these off every day and just check to make sure that they have water in the base trays, and then hopefully that will work and they will get enough sun. They'll be a little protected. I didn't harden them off. I just buried them all deep because they were super leggy. And then I had a bunch of winter cabbages in here as well. There was the Charlotte, which is Swedes, and kohlrabi, and my Chinese cabbage, so my Napa cabbage, and the white butterfly moss. Already found them. I found evidence of eggs on some of the starts, so this is now covered as well. I sprayed it with BT and then I covered it up, so I'm hoping that that will solve the problem. We'll see. But so these guys are now brassica town, and then my more mature ones, they're still in danger, but I'm just pretending that's not happening, and I will continue to do regular checks for caterpillars and damage. But hopefully we will have all the Brussels sprouts for Christmas, and we will have cabbage for Christmas, and it'll be a thing. And yeah, it's like 8:15 at night, and I'm done now. I think it is bedtime. Yeah, the greenhouse and the vertical planter is doing well. We have grapes, which is kind of awesome. Yeah, those are ripe now and awesome. They have seeds and very thick skin, but they're really sweet and just a little bit tart and really good. They're pretty awesome, and this has been going for 3 years, and just now this season it found this little stem and is growing up the greenhouse, which I'm very excited about because it's just been on this half a tomato cage forever. It's kind of floppy and weird, but now it's like actually like trying to make a home for itself, and that's pretty awesome. It took it long enough, but yeah. All right, I'm gonna go make dinner. Thanks for watching.